Okay, we're on.
Is it working? Yep. What you got coming in this time?
Students.
Students, yeah.
This young man a student too? Security guard, you're a student, but I was wondering, are you a student? Are you a student? So are you gonna participate?
He's a student. Yeah.
Good. Did I put you on the spot? Former faculty member I am. Okay, so should we get going? Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. We're going to get started. My name is Kim Bobby. I'm a principal with AGB Search. I've been with the firm since 2017. I do presidential searches all over the nation for all types of leaders and done several HBU presidential searches as well as other leaders. Have about 35 years in higher education as an administrator and a faculty member. Have worked in K-12 as well as foundations and just really have had grateful for the opportunity that I have to be partnering with, we have at AGB Search to be partnering with Jackson State University to find your next president. And we're here to listen. We're here to listen to what's on your hearts and minds about what you think the next president should be poised and ready to do based on experience and accomplishments in their body of work, not just a vision or not just for the desire to be the Jackson State University president, but how have you prepared yourself? How has your career progression? How is it evident that you are now ready to be the president based on your accomplishments? Personal, professional attributes, what do you bring to the table? How do you approach the work? How accessible are you? What's your level of student-centeredness? What's your level of emotional intelligence? Those kinds of things. And then what opportunities? What's good that's happening here? We want to hear from you. What's the good story? What's the good news about being at Jackson State University? So that's what this conversation is about. There's a link that's out there that asks the same questions, and encourage your fellow students to fill out that link if they can't make it to one of the listening sessions. So now I'm going to ask my colleague to introduce himself.
Good morning. I'm Carlton Brown. I'm not a principal, I'm a senior consultant with AGB Search. I've been with the firm since 2017 and doing presidential searches and other searches again around the country, including 9 HBCU presidencies. And prior to that, I was president of Clark Atlanta University for several years. And then before that, 10 years at Savannah State as president, and spent 10 years prior to that on the staff at Hampton University, first as a dean, then as a vice president. We should also point out to you that the board, the IHL board, is very interested in this search. They've been very engaged so far. You have one trustee with us today. We know that others are listening online to get the input that is necessary to move this search forward. And let me tell you a little bit about how this works. We're going to get input from all the stakeholders. We're going to congeal that into a profile for the search. The profile is the North Star for the search and governs everything. It determines what kinds of advertisements we make, determines all of our recruitment patterns, who we go after, how we vet those candidates, et cetera, to make sure that they're the right people for your institution. And so with that, we've got basically 4 questions we're going to revolve all of the input around. And we want to get as much input as we can from all of the stakeholder groups. So the first question we want to ask you and get your input on is, what are the 2 to 3 most important talents, skills, personal attributes that you're looking for in your next president? What kind of background do you want this person to have had? What kinds of skill sets? What do you want to know about them before you agree that they should be the next president? And of course, we're accepting input online, but we want input from those who are present as well.
Do we still need the mic? Okay. Maybe can we move the mic closer over here? Seems like everybody's over here. It's actually one of the. Okay, so if you want to go to the mic and talk. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I like that sweatshirt. That's Sean.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Seth Adams, business administration student here. And I would like to say, to answer your question, I guess we want someone who is able to listen to students, because that is the number one priority here at Jackson State, is a president who's going to be there for students in the time of need and be able to send people, faculty members and other people here in the time of need for those. The second, I guess, characteristic is someone who can actually lead the school and not be a manager to the school. And the third characteristic, I would say, we need someone who is going to take Jackson State into the direction that it needs to go, because we have gone down so long. We don't have only one way up to go, is but up. So we've been down too long. And I say we need someone who's going to take the school to another level and to make sure they're for the school and for the people and never for them. That's what we need.
Couple questions for you. You said you want somebody to lead as opposed to just managing. Say more about that, please.
Yes, sir. So, one, I guess we can talk about the histories. I've been through 4 presidents while I've been here at Jackson State.
And how long have you been here?
For almost 4 years now.
Mm.
And so we only had one, I guess, actual leader who was for the students, that would, if we needed money or anything, she would try to get it. But she was taken away from us as soon as we got her. So I guess with managing as well, we don't need anybody that's going to take just so many orders from the IHL. And we need someone who can lead their school the way it's supposed to be. Because we vaguely hear about these issues with PWIs in Mississippi, but Jackson State has to be the one that's always in the news for a new president due to bad choices by people that govern Jackson State. And so
Thank you.
that's
Thank you.
what I have.
Thank you. You want to add anything? Okay. We're not gonna forget about you.
He made some input already. Yeah. How's it? Other input or ideas from either of you?
So what has stood out to you? Have you been involved with leadership here in your 4 years? And what issues have you lamented about and said, oh, I wish this was different?
I guess with all of the leaders, started with when I first got with Mr. Thomas Hudson. He was, it's presented himself a good man. I have nothing bad to say about him, but I guess in different with enrollment management. Well,
Enrollment.
I work with undergraduate admissions.
Mm-hmm.
And I first started, it was Dr. Josiah Sampson, who was over enrollment management. He was a very good person. And then we had Miss Linda Rush. She was one of the people that were always for the student. I'll date back to when she first started teaching here at Jackson State and working in undergraduate in recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
She started that. And so over the years, they have got new leadership. We have not, the new people they have brought in have not stood up to what they need to be. And so I would say that many times, well, one, the enrollment numbers, we don't know what that is,
Mm-hmm.
but just with leadership, not just our president, but people on her cabinet. Some of them are very incompetent, I believe. And then we have people who, I guess, just don't really care. For the university itself, and it's time to let it check. It's time to there. And so I would say that just the presence of being here at Jackson State it's not the same as when I first started.
Mhm.
But I do want to, try to make a difference if I can to bring back that spirit.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. So we always like to hear some concrete examples, though. So when you say more student-centered leaders, when you think about that, what story moves your heart to say that?
I would say this.
Oh, me? I'll go to the mic, yeah.
So what leads me to say that is one of our acting president that we had, Dr. Elaine Hayes Anthony. She was, I guess, nobody's perfect,
No.
but she was one of the people that, as I said, cared for the students. If there was an issue, many people can go to her, write letters to her, and she would try to see what she can do, work it out. And if it was something that she could do in her power, then she did that. Another thing too is, I guess, I did, well, I say I don't know anything our previous president did, the one that just left. I can't tell you, but I do know that I say Dr. Anthony has the experience. Is that when it goes back to your question about, I guess, who do we see as someone that's, experienced, and what do we want to see in that leader? If you check her resume, you'll see that she's more than qualified for the job. And also, I would say I did a petition twice. The first time it it was supposed to go to the board. It never did. It was just never presented to the board. It did make the news stations and a lot of people covered it, but that was, I guess, during that. So I started another one recently and would hope that they would actually listen to me this time and more people feel the same way about this whole situation as president. We've had 4 bad choices. Well, not more than 4, but that was before I got here as well. But the ones I've seen, you know, um, and I just want to say too, to the people, I guess at the IHL, that for the people that are not our color, this, so that we have a better understanding, but this Negro school, as some of you all call it, we need a true leader. We need someone who's going to pull us through, so I don't.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you. Other input, students especially.
Yes,
Yes,
because you
ma'am.
want the people that are online to be able to hear you.
And give us a record in case we need to go back and make sure we got everything.
So we're talking about personal and professional attributes, challenges or priorities that the president needs to be ready to step up to deal with, or opportunities, what's going well. We just want to hear what's on your heart. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
you may.
And you're going to tell us your name and where you are when you get there.
Well walked.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Peyton Poe. I am currently a senior here at Jackson State, a chemistry major. And I would just like to say, as a student who lives near here, I live in Pocahontas, Mississippi, and who has grown up around Jackson State with their family, entire family going to Jackson State as well. I think that in a president, we want to see us have a community again. I think that under President Thompson, not Thompson. Ooh, I'm so sorry. Under our last president, I remember we would see him a lot. Definitely being able to catch him in the student center, catch him anywhere, having that lively, we know you in a sense, to be able to interact. Definitely more meetings with organizations. While that also is on the student's part, on the president's part, going to the president's house, knowing that it's over there, knowing that our president, again, as was stated earlier, wants to talk to us, that we can talk to you. If we send an email, even if it's not, given back to us right then in a timely manner, to know that our president really wants to listen to us. I would also like to say that, again, as a native here, there's a lot of things that I would want to see brought back up. We've had incidents on this campus as it pertains to safety. I
Mhm.
believe one of those things is opening up all of our safety guards. When I was a child, there was never a time where I went around the roundabout on John R. Lynch Street and that gate was not open. Like maybe at night, but there was always a guard there to check. It was never a completely closed situation. And even though these are very trying times, making sure that our students are able to enjoy the few luxuries that we do have. We are short-staffed as it pertains to residential and housing life, and that makes it to where we can't do a lot of things within that or within our usual scope in housing and residential life, from what I understand. And we've had to pull back on certain things, as from what I understand. And of course, that's not the school's fault, but having a president that will back us and say, hey, this is what we're doing, definitely having transparent meetings. We used to have pieces with the president, maybe something of that nature, again, to the broad public, I think would help. And as it pertains to professional attributes, I would personally like a president that has either gone to a HBCU or has studied definitely the culture of a HBCU, and especially the HBCU that they are vying to be the president of, because not only do I feel like culture here is important, I feel like shaping our culture, making our culture better, and keeping our legacy as Jackson State alive is extremely important here. That is all I have currently. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Other input? Yes,
Other students? Any thoughts you have? Where, you can speak more than once.
now if we do this right, this will be your only chance to make input into a presidency.
Because you graduated
think-
and the person will stay, is what he's.
That's what I'm saying.
I just say we really.
Lord, what the?
Are you a
Um,
student?
Oof.
She's not a student. Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say we would really like for the IHL and the search committee to work with us and listen to exactly what we have to say, because I feel that's been a thing in the past. We've been speaking, but we've not heard. And so, as Fannie Lou Hammond says, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We really are. And so that's one thing I would say.
Mhm,
Just hopefully that y'all get it right this
mhm.
time. And I did like the point that Ms. Poe made about we needing, I guess, interactions with our president again.
Mhm.
Mhm,
That stopped.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I'm not gonna I guess not gonna make any comments on the current interim president, but
mhm.
like I say, we just gonna have to work together
Mhm.
and fight to get it right. That's for all of Jackson State alumni, students, faculty, and supporters, and many more. We're gonna have to fight to get it right. That's uh, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And that's why we're having these listening sessions with you, starting with your board and all the stakeholder groups, because we do want to hear, we're not making assumptions about anything. We want to hear what's really the current reality for stakeholders of Jackson State University. Yeah.
Going back to what I was saying earlier in supporting us, my background on campus a little bit is that I was a senator in our SGA, our Student Government Association, for 2 years. And support that I would like to see is when our Senate especially is fighting for different bills to be able to help us. Like, we have access to our archives, but the kind of like the full ability to go in there, understand, hey, what did our past presidents used to do for this? How has this issue been resolved? Why is this issue coming back up again? If this issue has been resolved, is there any way that we can resolve it again? And to have your input on that, like, as our president, do you feel like this is an issue that we can really fix? Or do you think that this is something that might have to be ongoing for the next 2 to 3 years past our time? And a lot of things often are, but having that input, having that support of, maybe you don't have to know every bill that's going on, but I remember specifically we were working with our housing and residence life on different bills, and they were very cooperative. But I remember being in Senate meetings, and just every time we would bring it up, it would be pushed down. Kind of having the support and understanding from a president's side um, as a Senate member, because of course our pro tempore and our vice president get to sit in with meetings, certain meetings with our president, our vice president. We as a general Senate don't really get to do that. So definitely coming in with our full body SGA more as well, talking to them about, what we can and can't, not even what we can and cannot do, but what is a short-term goal, a midterm goal, a long-term goal, and how within your own attributes you plan on, because we have gone through like 5 presidents since I've been here. I've been here for what, 3 years, and I think I've either seen three to 5 presidents. And so how do you plan on being here long term, whoever is being here long term, to ensure, if I'm putting in this work for 3 years for something such as opening up the TB Ellis building, because there used to be an indoor pool there. And I know a lot of our students, it's the South, it's hot in the summer. We want a pool. There's a bowling alley. We have an entire bowling team. Why is our bowling team having to go to outside resources to bowl when we have this wonderful resource here on campus? Things of that nature. How can we, as an SGA that's supposed to support our people as students, also get support from you guys to see what's the short-term, midterm, and long-term goal?
Thank you.
Where's the line? They needed a line of students outside breaking down the doors.
Anyone else?
So,
Yes, go ahead.
sure.
First, to start off, my name is Mariah Osborne. I'm a sophomore biology pre-nursing major from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think we're talking about like a problem that we would like solve and stuff like that. Okay, I think housing is like a major issue. I feel like housing is not just for the freshmen. I feel like it's catered to everyone on campus, because not everyone is from Jackson, and not everyone has the capability to be able to live off campus. Not everyone has a car to drive to and from campus from their off-campus apartment. I feel like housing is a necessity for being on college. It's definitely like the way of life. Like, you have to live on campus to really get the college experience. I was personally put in a hotel at the beginning of the semester, and I moved into transitional dormitory September 26th. We started school like beginning of August, and I didn't get housing till then, and I was calling all throughout the summer and I didn't get housing. I feel like housing should be inclusive for all students, not just the freshmen, because students like me are not from here. I need to be on campus. I need to be able to stay on campus. And some people cannot be able to come here because they don't have on-campus housing. Some people might live from California and then are not able to get housing, so they have to withdraw from the university. So I feel like campus housing should be a necessity, and I feel like it should be catered to all students, not just freshmen.
Mhm. Okay,
Very good. Thank you.
thank you. Give for being so specific too. Thank you.
Other input? What do you think are the first few things your next president should focus on?
I know you talked about short-term, long-term, midterm priorities, and really that's an important framework to think about. So what needs immediate attention? I know housing has been brought up several times. So other than housing, what else needs to be a top priority that needs to be addressed right away?
I guess other than housing, um, well, starting with administration, we need a better, people who are more better candidates in those positions. And then we need to start, also, I guess, go with, which this president needs to be able to be, I guess, active, like I say, with students and understanding as far as like they made the points about it's back on housing, but on many other things, services, scholarships. We don't, it's not very many scholarship programs by Jackson State itself, um, and from different colleges. And I know that we can get money, but the donors need someone that's going to be trustworthy. And I believe that's a issue too. It's not, they don't feel that the people are who's ever in position now is not ready to be able to take on the task of handling money. And then also faculty support as well. I feel a lot of faculty here and staff have issues with other departments and things, and I feel like that it needs to be a better system for them as well. So um, I think that's all.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Other students?
Hello, my name is Javon Banks. My bad. My name is Javon Banks. I'm a senior from Chicago, Illinois, major in mathematics education. One thing I can say is making it more affordable for students. Just this year, I paid about $1,000 just to take online classes. So I had a lot of friends who have withdrawn from the campus just because they couldn't afford to come to school. So making school more affordable and giving out more scholarships to the students. The next president like have good networking skills, so you can't have like grants coming to the school. Like my freshman year, we got a lot of grants, so a lot of students won't have to pay a lot of money out of pocket. So making school affordable and open up more jobs to students on campus, like the bowling alley. We could open up the bowling alley and students could work at the bowling alley. The pool, we could have students as lifeguards at the pool. More restaurants on campus so students can work and afford school.
Thank you.
I would like to say that something that I think should be a short-term goal is public safety, because again, as a senior here, I remember going through 2 campus deaths in less than 1 year. And that definitely is a frame or shapes your experience at a college. So, like I stated earlier, when I was younger, all the security points had security all throughout the night. And if it wasn't throughout the night, they would at least have it during the day. So then you know who is coming on campus. And there's less, I would say less traffic, but it'll be easier for us to share our resources and still be safe when we can have these security points. I know that there's a gate right behind the student center, actually, that's by Alex, and you will have students going over there, and it's dark at night, and picking up food, picking up packages, of course, but that becomes a safety concern because it's a bit dark over there. There's no one in that security booth to, if anything happens, explain what happens. So I think that would be a short-term goal, in my opinion, that we can work towards. I also agree with sir over there at the door about different grants and things towards the school. As a chemistry major and someone who kind of works in our labs and sees how our professors fight to get grants to ensure that we can have the right instrumentation and have the proper updates for those instrumentations to ensure that our research is credible. I think that it's important for us to get grants. And as a person my entire friend group is not from here. I have a friend from Texas, Missouri, and California. That's my main friend group. Seeing how they've had to move off campus is not necessarily disheartening, because a lot of other schools, their students move off campus after freshman year, but they are given reliable off-campus housing options. Like, hey, we know that these people in this apartment are, renting out to students. Their rent's a little lower than most people around, because the options that we've given our students aren't really financially feasible either. Giving them the hotel earlier this year, but that was $6,000 for a semester. For comparison, I live in the apartments across from the student center and one university, and the most you can pay for that room, for a room, if you're in a single by yourself with a living room, from what I remember, is $6,200. The hotel is, you're in a hotel sharing a room with someone. You don't have the amenities that you would have over at 1U. So you don't have a full size refrigerator, you don't have a stove or anything like that. And you have to get transported unless you have a car, which means you're working on someone else's schedule. So I think having reliable options as it pertains to if we're going to have off-campus housing, because I know it's not a lot of land over here to work with, having a reliable off-campus option provided from the school. Because other than the hotel, we have the lofts, but the lofts are $7,500 a semester and up. If I'm out of state, I'm already paying out of state tuition on top of what it is for anything else to be here, on top of if I get a car, how I'm going to get the car here, and then $7,500 a semester for a studio. That's just a studio. And that's just if you're living in there, not if you have a studio or you have a 2 bedroom and someone else is living there, and or a 1 bedroom and someone else is living there, and you're both sharing a space. That's even more money for less room, less, by yourself, things of that nature. So definitely doing something like that. I think a midterm goal would be to open up different amenities on campus, such as the bowling alley and the TB Ellis building. Again, the TB Ellis building had a lot of wonderful things. One of the most notable things for me, of course, was the pool, but you had another basketball court. You had dancing studios on the second floor, and you had classrooms. Going back to, again, what our student over there had said, those are chances for our students to not only learn, but to see what they want to do in their profession. If I want to be a dancing teacher, it would help if I could say, hey, this is the type of dance I want to teach. is there any way I can rent out this not rent out, but use the studio during this time and perhaps teach a class every Thursday? Not only does that boost student morale, but that gives a student a chance to really try out their occupation. Again, with lifeguard services, that gives you certifications, that gives you training. And I think that's important for our students because colleges, well, it's not only 4 years, but it's typically 4 years. What can we do after that? We need skills, hard skills after that. And I think a long-term goal, before I get to long-term, back to short-term goals. Again, having a good relationship with our students and with the public. I don't want to feel like I'm questioning the motives of my president. Why is my president here? Is like I don't see them a lot. They don't really do anything, but I'm always hearing something about them. Like, what's my president really here for? Having that morale, again, it doesn't even have to be pizza with the president, but just stopping by the cafeteria to eat with us sometimes, or I feel like, but I'm sorry, but stopping by the student center, saying what's up, things of that nature. Again, ensuring that our student body not only knows you by name, but knows you by face. And then going back to long-term goals, again, being able to put your input. I think that president should be here for a duration of time because you guys see how change happens. You guys see how different classes come in and different trends happen and different trends change. It would be important for you guys to stay here for long because you then get to help, again, as I said earlier, shape our legacy. If this is straying from what you know Jackson State is about, how we can bring our students back into the prime of what Jackson State is and what we're really here to give the opportunities and the experiences that we're here to give our students. I think that's all I got. Thank you, guys.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other input?
Other thoughts?
Gonna give you a couple more minutes to think about it because I know there's some more thoughts out there. Now, you're aware there's an online opportunity to make further input? Okay, good. Utilize that if you have some more thoughts later or some that you didn't want to share here, but that you think are important.
Mhm.
We want to make sure we've got all the input possible before we build this profile. So I want to thank you all for coming out and sharing with us. It's been very good. You've made some great input today. It's been very, very helpful. Be very, very useful to us as we build this profile. So
Mhm.
thank you.
And tell your friends to do the survey. to
There's
those
other
who click-
sessions.
that couldn't make it, fill out the survey link. The students is 11 and 3. Another one's at 3 o'clock today. So. Okay,
All right.
well, we'll be looking
Counting on
for
it.
you.
So does that mean I'm coming back at 3 o'clock too? Which is what time is that? That's 4. So 4 and then 5. Oh, okay. So the next session is at 2. 2 o'clock. So I'll come back at 2, y'all. Maybe there'll be some more folks. Okay, so here's my thing. I don't really think you need to prepare that much in order to articulate your issues. You don't need to do that. Y'all been dealing with this stuff for a long time. We need a president that's going to be here for longer than 2 years. We need a president that did not work as a secretary for IHL. we need a president that is not going to have nepotism a problem in their administration. We need a president that is going to, oh God, I don't even know what to say. But I do know this, y'all. C. Lee McGinnis is going to be at the alum listening session at 5. It's going to be at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock Central. So you better be there. Be over here. I'm going to be here because C. Lee going to bring down the house. Okay. He's going to let us know what's what. So you guys make sure that you guys are back for that because I already know it's going to cut up. He's going to lay it out. Gonna lay it out. And so yeah, I'm gonna come back at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, that's why you use Chat GPT. That way, look. Okay. I'm telling y'all, Chat GPT is gonna place all of your stuff and make it professional. I told them what type of coach that I felt we needed, and or not coach, I'm sorry, what type of president that I felt like we needed. And I think that ChatGPT did a really good job of highlighting that. So I put basically the question, which was, what are the 2 to 3 most important talent, skills, and attributes that the next president should possess? I said, well, I know I want a background research in R1 or getting a college to R1 status. That's what one of the things Jackson State wants. Relationship on international level funding, local level, and the ability to acquire state funding. So then it just put it out there for you. Bit by bit. In the first 90 days, the first 90-day plan for the next president should obviously be to launch an immediate audit of the student housing shortfalls and financial aid. There should be a campaign with alumni and corporate partners to basically do, fundraising. But I didn't know housing was that big of a problem. I think 1877 Project will also be in attendance. So our alumni session should be really good. I hope they're all back from Vegas. I know a lot more students will attempt to show up. I'll personally try my best to make it, but I get out of class right as the next session starts. I mean, listen, even if you had 20 students show up, that would be something. Even if you have 20 students show up. If you guys can't get 20 students, I'm not saying F class, but I think that telling them that you were at the listening session is a good enough excuse for not showing up for class. So I think what did happen, which I can remember towards the beginning of the summer when they had like a June session, that Jackson State was getting approval for basically having a contract directly with the hotel. That was just getting approved in June, I want to say. charging the same amount for a hotel that you do for an apartment is crazy. Now, I want to know, do they get free breakfast? Like, how is that? And you know what else, Whitley? That might have been the lack of ability for, I don't know what the negotiation was for the hotel, but maybe that could have been lack of negotiation skills with the hotel on the price. Hmm. I know like one of the issues with students having to stay at the hotels is they did want to be on the yard, meaning they wanted to be able to leave their um dorms and go to the plaza, or because there are a lot of activities and things that take place on campus. So I could definitely understand that. They did highlight and kept talking about the president's visibility and then the lack thereof of the interim president's visibility in terms of trying to get student relationships. They basically said all that stopped. So pizza with the plaza, uh after, I forgot what it was called, after 5 sessions. But you have to understand that the previous president was building these relationships with students, but you know, those things had to take a back seat due to whatever transpired, you know. So now the interim president has to have a new strategy. Oh, I don't know who Hi There is, but Hi There is telling it, baby. Hi There, let them know what's going on. The students are on BS because they throw rocks and tell the public a different thing. Ooh. Mm. All right, y'all. Hi there. You coming back? Come back at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So honestly, when I was at Jackson State, I think our out-of-state tuition was waived during that time. We got lucky. Our student tuition was waived for out-of-state fees. And secondly, maybe I didn't really pay attention to how much our housing was. But when I had an opportunity to move from McAllister to Campbell, I didn't care how much it cost. I wanted to stay in Campbell. And we had a full refrigerator, and that's all I remember. We didn't have stoves in there. Whitley, the only thing that I would say is that they're definitely cutting down on, which is maybe like stoves and stuff like that. I want to say a student had a hot plate or something in uh Alexander and they caused a fire. So, and I would think that air fryers and stuff would be illegal in dorms, but there's a reason for that, and that's because if one wrong thing, you burn down the whole damn dorm. We didn't have stoves. Now I think some folks might have had a hot plate. We had a microwave, but We didn't have stoves in dorms. Unless the student is making a deal with for an extended stay with these amenities, this is not realistic. Well, I don't know. I saw the pictures when they first came out. Jackson State. I thought they came out with some pictures, and they were very nice. So it says the university will lease 106 rooms at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites for 2.1 million, providing housing for 200 students at that location. It said board members also received an update on JSU's ongoing efforts to expand on-campus residential facilities. Once completed, the facility will provide JSU with 335 new style suite style beds, and the completion date of the projection is for the fall of 2027. So one of the things that I will say is that the issues that we're having with housing is a nationwide issue. It's not just HBCUs. Why the hell would he do that? I'm so glad he gone. He wanted to control what color we was wearing, and why would we not get campus? Oh God. But you know what the students are bragging about? They're bragging about pizza with the president. Marcus Thompson is the one that is supposed to be securing your housing. You guys are happy that he went and bought you some pizza, but now you don't know why there's no new housing. The people in the hotel were moved back on campus. They also still got charged $6K for the hotels on top of their new housing. So are the Palisades open or closed? I don't know, but the Palisades did have a full stove, full oven, and a washer and dryer. And it was split in between 4 people. Oh Lord. Okay. Them folks was definitely was mad that it was that it was closed. It was like, so y'all live in the mold, or do you want to get the mold out? Like, what are we doing here? All right, y'all. I'll come back in an hour. Don't worry, I won't be like Mr. Ford and fall asleep. Oh, it shouldn't. Hell, by that time, they should have been able to pull everything out and redo it. We were supposed to be getting McAllister back online. And this is the problem with interim president and president. President Thompson is supposed to have been making headway. Now all of a sudden you are out the picture and we got to start all the way over. They should be able to pull everything out and restructure it though. Like, you know what I think they need to do? They need to contact HGTV, those people who renovate houses and do a renovate apartments show. Okay? That's what they need to do. Renovate apartment show. And we need to apply for the old Palisades to be one of the ones that they renovate. And they can renovate the swim pool, repave those lots, do all that. Anyway, I'll see y'all at 2:00. My time. 1 p.m.
I've had some baby and some sleepless nights. But when I look around, and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. The clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, Lord. Lord, why so much pain? But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see. So I'll just say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. But He is so good to me. He's been good to me. More than this world I could ever be. He's been so good. But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see. So I'll just say, thank you, Lord.